day 1, I was an elemental dragon sitting inside of my castle. I was king of the dragons! I can't believe I'm king!
Of course you are. You're the only elemental dragon in existence. With your ability to control the elements of water, earth, fire, wind, ice, and thunder, all creatures respect you.
Oh, thanks, Mom! Suddenly, the Ender Dragon bursted into the room.
Time to take what's mine!
The Dark Dragon casted the most unbelievable curse magic onto my mom, killing her instantly. Mom, no! You'll pay! I charged in, ready to avenge my fallen mother. As an elemental dragon, I had the ability to control multiple different ancient swords. I tried to use my flame sword, ice sword, and lightning sword, but my Ender Dragon sister was just too powerful. Despite my efforts, the intruder's dark powers were too strong.
I'm taking over these lands, and I won't let a little runt like you stop me.
The mysterious dragon casted another dark spell that transformed me into a baby. I only had 5 hearts and my head felt dizzy. No, I have to stop her. Before I could fight back, I passed out. On day 2, I woke up in a dungeon where the dark dragon was watching. Who are you? Let me go!
You don't remember me? I'm Lilith, your sister, and I'm taking what's rightfully mine!
Suddenly, Lilith summoned a massive monster and vanished before my eyes. I had to fight back if I wanted a chance to live. I tried to use one of my elemental abilities, but to my shock, I could only use my fire sword. Did she weaken my elemental powers? Although I only had a flame sword, it had the ability to light the enemies on fire and knock them back a decent amount. I tried my best to avoid its venomous bites, but it managed to land an attack on me. I didn't have as much health as before, and it was dwindling down fast. I was definitely fighting a losing battle. I fought and fought, but the monster was too powerful. I ran for my life, and the monster chased after me. I ran until a lava pit stopped me in my tracks. Looks like it's time to fly. I used my wings to navigate myself over the lava pit while the monster fired projectiles at me from the other side. I had to be sure not to get hit, otherwise I was done for. I dodged and weaved the projectiles and the pillars of lava until I managed to escape through the other side. I have to get my powers back and reclaim the throne. But how? On day 3, I managed to escape Lilith's dungeon. I feel so lost. What should I do? Just then, I noticed the sun began to set. I knew the mobs were about to be out for the night, so I searched for a cave to rest in. Finally, I just need to close my eyes.
What are you doing in my nest?
I turned around and discovered an old fire dragon standing before me. Ah! The dragon began to blast me with his incredible fire abilities. I tried to fight back with my own fire sword, but I didn't stand a chance against him. I pleaded with him in hopes he would stop attacking me. Please stop! I'm the king!
Yeah, right. The king is capable of using all the elements, not just fire.
Suddenly, the ground began to tremble. We rushed outside to discover that our cave was part of a volcano. This place is erupting! Run! On days 4 through 7, the fire dragon and I were flying for our lives. Chunks of earth and fire fell from above, and the two of us evaded it the best we could. Suddenly, the fire dragon was hit, wounding him badly. Oh no! I'm coming!
No, there's a town nearby, and if you don't do anything, the lava is going to scorch it.
Okay, I'll try to stop it. I took to the skies and spotted the town in the distance. The lava was already getting closer. I started by digging as much dirt as my claws could dig and began to build a wall, but I couldn't gather and build quickly enough. There's no time to evacuate everyone. Did I fail? I felt as if I'd let all of my subjects down. I had to do something. Out of sheer desperation, I managed to use a water attack, causing the lava to turn into obsidian. I'm an elemental dragon! I used my new water powers to get rid of the rest of the lava and save the town. I returned to the fire dragon and he watched me in shock.
You can use water and fire. You really are the king.
Could you help me regain my powers? The dragon bowed his head to me.
I, Cyrus the Blazing, vow to help you master the element of fire.
On days 8 through 10, I began my training with Cyrus to master fire.
A worthy dragon needs a worthy den. Your first assignment is to make a base.
I'm on it. Cyrus tossed me tons of materials, and I took to the skies and scouted out the perfect spot for my new base. Once I found it, I got to work. I wanted to build a new castle, one that reflected the elements of fire, earth, water, and wind that I possess. One day, I'll be the king again and everyone will admire this place. I showed Cyrus my work and he seemed to like it and gave me mysterious food as my prize. I chowed down and suddenly felt a new power surge through me. I grew bigger and stronger and my teeth got sharper. I was now an adult elemental dragon. I had 20 hearts. I feel amazing! With my new strength, I decided to go hunting for some food. While I was out, I noticed Lilith flying overhead. Where is she going? I followed my Ender Dragon sister until she landed in a nearby village.
Hello, worthless citizens. I am your new queen. Surrender your treasure now!
No way, lady.
Without hesitation, Lilith killed the villager in a single blow. Oh no! I have to help! I stepped in to intervene. Leave them alone!
Ah, my foolish brother has arrived. Face my wrath!
Lilith summoned a massive flying monster and took to the skies. It came barreling at high speeds, hitting me with brute force. I quickly regained my footing and equipped my Flame Dragon Bone Sword and began attacking. He was quick, but not fast enough to avoid my strikes. I lit him ablaze, dealing massive damage to his health. As soon as the fire was extinguished, I'd hit him with my water spray. Clutching to the last bit of life he had left, he fell to the floor and I followed behind him. Thanks to my new strength, I took out the beast and saved the village. My sister is crazy powerful. I have to master the elements and help as soon as possible. On days 11 through 14, I flew back to the base to continue training with my Fire Master. I'm ready to begin the next step.
Sorry, kid. You still aren't quite ready for that yet. First, you'll need to go to the Nether and retrieve the lava elemental power from a fire elemental.
How am I supposed to get there?
Follow me.
I followed Cyrus and he led me to a mysterious nether portal. It looked like it had been there for ages.
This will take you where you need to go.
Are you sure it's safe there? Cyrus chuckled and tossed over tons of food, a crafting bench, and a small stack of iron for me to craft better equipment.
Put these to use so you don't die out there.
I put down a crafting bench, then made myself armor and even an iron sword. This should do the trick. After all was said and done, I embarked on my journey through the portal and immediately began searching for the fire elemental. Where do I even start? As I was looking around, I was approached by a group of piglins.
Hand over the gold.
Huh? I don't have any gold.
Get him, boys.
The piglin group charged in at me and I had no choice but to fight. I used a combination of my Fire Dragon Bone Sword and water attack to knock out the piglins one by one. They tried to retaliate with their golden swords, but they were no match for the King of the Dragons. With one final blow, I had defeated all of the piglins. Sweet! I struck gold! I continued forward on my journey to find the fire elemental. Searching across vast lands and fiery lakes, I couldn't spot them anywhere. Suddenly, I saw something in the corner of my eye and chased after it. Hey, I need to talk to you! They started to fly away, so I began to tail behind it and eventually trapped it at a dead end.
Why are you following me?
You're a fire elemental, right?
Kind of, I guess. I'm a blaze.
Well, I'm the King of the Dragons, and I've been tasked to kill you in order to get some of my powers back.
Whoa, hold on. What? The King of Dragons? I worship you, bro. I'm assuming you're looking for the lava elemental power if you're trying to kill me.
Wait, yeah, that's exactly what I'm looking for.
You don't need to kill me for that, silly. I can just give it to you.
The fire elemental tossed over my prize. Wow, thanks. You should come live with me in my base.
Whoa, you're moving a little fast there, bud, but I'm down. The name's Francis.
On days 15 through 17, we headed back to my base. Master, I found the lava elemental power and even made a new friend.
Good. You're now ready to be trained in the art of fire. Everyone seems to think that all dragons are fire resistant, but it's actually a skill that's developed over time.
Time isn't exactly something I have a lot of.
First, you must walk across a bed of hot coal. Second, you'll need to sleep in a pool of lava. And lastly, you must defeat a Nether.
That's insane! I could never do that!
You have no idea what the extent of your power is.
After our conversation, Cyrus led me to the area to begin the first test. Ooh, ouch! Hot!
Keep it up, you're almost there.
Next was the pool of lava. I couldn't help but stare at the boiling goop that seemed like it would melt my scales off. There is no way I'm stepping in there.
It's all in your head. Just eat the lava power that you got from Francis. It'll activate your latent powers and give you just enough resistance to withstand the heat.
After eating the lava power, I began to feel my body slowly cool down. Whoa. it's kicking in already. I held my breath and braced for impact. Jumping into the lava, I still felt a burning sensation crawling up my skin. Oh, it's hot, but more like a hot bubble bath. Cyrus handed me a map with the location of the being I had to fight.
For your last test, you must go to the area marked on the map and defeat the monster. Only then will you be able to harness the power of fire once again.
I'll do my best. I had finally arrived at the spot Cyrus mentioned. In the distance, I spotted the monster. All right, let's do this. He began summoning lightning and terraforming the area surrounding us. I took off to the sky to avoid getting caught in the blast. After gaining some distance, I immediately began spraying him with my water ability, but it wasn't as effective as I hoped. Swooping in closer, I slashed at him with my fire sword, dealing massive damage. He began returning large-scale attacks, taking chunks of my health at a time. I mustered up all of my strength into one final attack and slayed the powerful beast. I felt a strong sensation throughout my body. I gained 5 hearts and an incredibly strong fire ability. On days 18 through 21, I had finally mastered my fire powers. I figured it was time to find another master, so I headed back to my base to prepare for the journey ahead. Upon arriving, a group of the Ender Dragon's minions were waiting for me. Looks like I get to show them what I'm made of. The group of enemies came barreling towards me. I took advantage of my wings and flew away from them and charged in from above. I tried to use my new flame abilities, but they seemed to avoid all of my fiery projectile attacks. Due to them being mutated Endermen, I was only able to hit them with physical slashes from my sword. They continued to teleport away from my reach, but I was starting to understand their pattern. I was beginning to win, but the goons suddenly stopped fighting me. Instead, they shifted their focus to Francis. I ran in to stop them, but I was too late. They picked her up and started teleporting away. Give me back my friend! I frantically flew around searching for the two until I arrived at one of Lilith's bases. I stuck behind them and watched as they handed off Francis to another goon.
Good. When the queen arrives, we'll lure out the elemental dragon and kill him.
It's a trap! I need to think of something before the queen arrives. I turned around and realized that Lilith was already coming quickly. My time was running out. Oh no! It's over! Suddenly, I felt a strange sensation within me and conjured miniature tornadoes. I instantly sent them towards my sister. The tornadoes flew up and threw Lilith off course. Whoa, did I do that? No time!
My queen!
The goons ran out after her, leaving Francis alone. Francis, come on over!
Roger that.
While they were distracted, the two of us escaped. On days 22 through 24, Francis and I returned to the base where Cyrus was waiting.
I'm glad you're home safe. I wish I could help more, but my work here is done. Seek out your next master, and good luck.
Thank you for everything. Cyrus headed back to his den, and I decided it was time to do some more work on the base. I started by working on a room for Francis. I made sure it had everything a fire elemental could want, including plenty of different kinds of nether blocks.
It's just like home.
Glad you like it. After that was done, I did the same for the water tower. This would help a ton to keep an eye out for intruders. As I was looking off the top of the tower, I suddenly noticed a flying entity approaching me. What the heck? Who are you?
My name is Thea. I sensed a disturbance in the air and followed it. Are you the source, young elemental dragon?
I did summon some mini tornadoes. I explained to her that I was the Dragon King and that my powers were weakened, but in intense situations they would sometimes reawaken.
If that's the case, then I can help you reclaim your wind element.
You got yourself a deal! On day 25, Thea and I flew through the sky when suddenly a storm began to pick up. This seems dangerous. Should we turn around?
Not at all. You must navigate the storm, and on the other side you'll learn the key to using your wind abilities.
Anything to get my powers back. I continued to head alone as Thea watched. The further I flew in, the rougher it got to stay on course. I tried my best to hold on, but the wind kept blowing stronger. Come on, Max! You're almost there? Suddenly, I lost control and got swept away by the powerful winds. Ah! Everything went black. When I woke up, though, I was in front of a mysterious air temple in the sky. Was this what my master was talking about? Just then, I spotted a wind elemental fly by. Hey, come back here! I followed them into the temple ahead. On days 26 through 28, I followed the air elemental onto a mysterious temple. What's this all about? The wind elemental vanished. In its place, a vision of my mom appeared in front of me.
Hello, Max.
Mom? Is that really you?
You failed me. Despite having all your powers, I still fell to your sister's hand.
What? My mom would never say something like that. Who are you? Suddenly, she transformed into a horrific ghostly monster and charged at me. The two of us clashed in the sky in a battle of epic proportions. The ghost was able to shoot gusts of wind at me, dealing massive damage each hit he managed to land. I had to do my best to evade him, otherwise I was toast. Whenever he got close, I slashed down the monster with my flame dragon bone sword. Next, I retaliated with my fire mastery and tried to chip him down with burn damage. But even that wasn't enough to take out the undead monster. I fought with all of my might and with everything Cyrus had taught me over our training, but it was no use. Despite my efforts, I couldn't win. The beast was just too powerful. No, I can't stop now! I looked deep inside of myself and suddenly felt an amazing power unleash. I felt the element of wind come over me. I gained 5 hearts and now had the ability to shoot air projectiles. Die, imposter! I used my new wind powers to retaliate at the monster. I shot gusts of powerful wind, bringing the ghost closer and closer to his demise. It didn't take long for them to submit to my overwhelming strength. I did it! Suddenly, my Windmaster approached me.
Congratulations, Max. You've mastered the element of wind.
On days 29 through 31, I parted ways with Thea and returned to the base. When I arrived, I decided to do some expanding. I started with the treasure room to hoard all of my valuables. A great king has great wealth. I can't wait to see all the different things I find on my journey. Just then, Francis ran in.
Help! Some of your citizens are in trouble!
Max to the rescue! I took to the skies and searched for the people in peril. When I found them, they were being attacked by Lilith's dino guards. I swooped in and took out the guards one by one. Although they outnumbered me, they weren't prepared for my elemental powers. I blasted them down one by one until nobody remained.
Thank you, King, for saving us, but our town is destroyed. We have nowhere to go.
Don't worry, come with me. I returned to the base and built a town for all of my people to take refuge. I wanted my base to be a place where everyone could take shelter from the wrath of the queen. I even added a garden with plenty of food to feed myself and the villagers.
Thank you so much. You really are a brave king.
Oh, thanks! Just then, one of the other villagers ran out of their house in a frenzy.
Everyone take cover! Queen Lilith is heading this way!
Not on my watch! On days 32 through 34, I flew through the skies and finally managed to encounter my sister. What do you want?
A certain elemental dragon has been causing my men trouble. Maybe I should have just killed you when I had the chance.
I'm only causing trouble because you killed Mom and took the throne. Newsflash, Lilith, I'm taking it back.
I'd like to see you try.
Lilith began to attack me with her powerful dark magic. I was ready to show her just how strong I had become. She started by striking massive amounts of lightning down onto me, which destroyed the biome beneath us. Too many hits from her attacks would surely end me, so I had to be careful. I evaded her the best I could and retaliated with my fire and wind masteries. Whenever I managed to get in close, I slashed her down with my flame dragon bone sword. Unfortunately, without all my elemental powers, I didn't stand a chance. I fought and fought, but she was too powerful. She suddenly casted a dark spell onto me, causing me to get withered. My health was slowly draining away. At this rate, I'm finished! My health slowly began to drain more and more. I was forced to flee to safety to survive.
This won't be the last you see of me! From this day on, I'll be coming after you with everything I have!
On days 35 through 38, I returned to the base in bad condition.
Hurry, drink this!
Francis gave me a potion and I drank it down before I succumbed to the effects of the wither. That was close. I have to keep mastering the elements if I want to stand a chance.
Well, that potion used up a lot of seaweed. Can you gather some more?
You got it! I took to the skies and found a nearby ocean to start gathering in. Seaweed was really plentiful, so I had plenty in no time. Great, now I better head back. Just then, I began to get sucked deeper into the ocean. I looked around and realized I had foolishly swam over magma blocks. I gotta get out of here! I swam with all of the power I had, but I couldn't escape. I was drowning. I thought I was finished, when suddenly a hammerhead shark swam by and casted a magical spell. They gave me water breathing. What the?
I was surprised to see an elemental dragon drowning. Can't you breathe underwater?
Usually, yes, but my water powers are weak.
Say no more. I, Marin, will train you in the element of water.
On days 39 through 40, I began my training with Marin, starting with an underwater obstacle course.
To master water, you must be able to navigate it. Ready? Go!
I began to swim through the obstacle course, clearing ring after ring. The more I practiced, the more I realized I was beginning to gain speed. By the time I crossed the finish line, I now had gained Dolphin's Grace. Whoa! What else can my water powers do? Next, Marin took me to a spring where we had a nice view of the surface. She then casted another spell on me and removed my water breathing. Why did you do that?
You must learn to master your underwater endurance and gain the ability of water breathing on your own.
Well, if you say so. I kept myself underwater and held my breath for as long as I could. Unfortunately, it was a lot harder than it looked. Are you sure this will work?
Trust the process.
I repeated this for what felt like days, but gradually it got easier and easier. After a lot of work, I gained permanent water breathing. I did it!
Excellent work. Now just for one more.
Just then, a dark entity appeared before us.
Lady Lilith figured you were here. She'll be pleased.
The entity swam up to Marin and teleported away, so I immediately began to search for them. On days 41 through 42, I searched for the entity and found Mariana's Trench. As I went, I kept running into oak signs telling me to turn back. Sorry, sign, but I'm on a mission. I have to save Marin. I threw caution to the wind and continued onwards. As I moved, it became so dark it was hard to see where I was going. I was about to lose hope when suddenly I saw a light shining in the distance. Awesome! That's lucky! I followed it and quickly realized it was an anglerfish. I quickly swam away before the bloodthirsty predator could spot me. Just keep swimming, just keep swimming. I found a cave to hide in and settled myself down deep inside it. Phew! Before I could get comfortable though, I was swarmed by water bugs. Ah! Not a good time, guys! I continued swimming through the cave when I found the entity had Marin trapped.
The dragon followed? I guess I have a 2-for-1 deal.
Without warning, they attacked me. The entity had the power to wield incredible water magic. He shot massive streams of water at me relentlessly, leaving me little room to breathe. I retaliated with all of my other elemental powers, but my fire attacks were weakened by the water around us, leaving me down an element. I continued to push through, doing my best to evade the entity while firing magical attacks of my own, but I was beginning to get outmatched. I thought I was done for, when suddenly I used crazy water magic and gained 5 hearts. Whoa! I was now able to fire powerful beams of water back at the entity. The two of us used our water magic and clashed lasers together to see who overpowered the other first. Luckily, I was the one with the edge. Using my newfound powers, I took out the entity once and for all. Once they were defeated, I quickly swam over to Marin and freed them from their prison.
I can proudly say you've mastered water. Take this for your treasure room.
It was a blue lava crystal shard. Wow, it's beautiful! On days 43 through 45, I returned home and added the blue lava crystal shard I received from Marin to my treasure room. My hoard is growing! Once I was done, I started working more on the main structure of my base. I built up the walls of the castle and added more rooms so that it would be truly representative of an elemental dragon king. Next, I started to work on a watering hole for all of my people to enjoy. Once I was done, all of my villagers played in the pool and had a lot of fun.
This is wonderful, King. Please, take these emeralds and armor as a token of our gratitude.
Oh, you don't have to. I accepted their gifts and suddenly caught a whiff unlike anything I'd ever smelled before. What is that? It smells wonderful. I started to follow the unknown smell to see what it could be. On days 46 through 50, I followed the source of the smell to discover a guy sitting on a boulder. What are you trying to do?
Trying to deliver this pizza.
On a boulder?
It's not a boulder, it's a rock.
Right. If I help make the rock move, can I have some of that pizza?
Sure, dude.
I tried to focus on my inner earth element. If I could just awaken it, I'd be able to get my delicious, greasy prize. Suddenly, the ground began to shake beneath me. I'm doing it! Just as I thought I had it, I only managed to lift a single block. What? Just then, a dark armored scout walked up and sent the boulder flying in a single move.
Thanks, dude.
The pizza guy dropped a mysterious green crystal as well as some pizza as he flew off. What's that? It looks powerful. I went to grab the artifact, but the dark armored scout snagged it first.
That was pathetic. You call yourself a king?
Who are you? And can I have that green crystal he dropped?
I'm Auric, and you'll get this artifact once you master the element of Earth.
On days 51 through 54, Auric took me to the Badlands biome to begin our Earth training. What are we doing out here?
Oh, you'll see.
Suddenly, the ground began to shake beneath us and one of the kangaroo inhabitants started to yell. Earthquake! Good thing I can fly.
Sorry, Max. Flying is disabled on this server.
Auric threw a splash potion at me, which took away my ability to fly. What?
Survive the earthquake, and you'll understand a thing or two about the element.
I wanted to argue, but the ground beneath me was already beginning to crack. If I wanted to survive, I needed to think quickly. I hopped around, avoiding all of the crevices that opened into the ground below. I had a few close calls, but I was making good progress. Almost out of here. Just as I thought I was gonna make it, the ground below me crumbled, causing me to plummet into the earth below. On days 55 through 57, I woke up inside of a mysterious cavern. Ugh, I gotta get out of here. I began hearing a low growl echo through the cavern. I'm not alone down here. I walked forward and was met with a massive crystal stone golem standing before me. The beast didn't like me lurking in its home, so it charged in to attack. The massive golem had a club made of gems which he used to smash into me and deal loads of damage. I retaliated with all of my elemental masteries, including wind, fire, and water, but he was just too powerful. Even for an elemental dragon, this guy was just way too tough for me to handle. I need to get back to the surface, but how am I gonna do that without my wings? I was cornered until I felt a sudden surge of power grow within me. Just then, I unlocked my earth powers and gained 5 hearts. Nice! Just in time too. With my new earth abilities, I was able to lift myself out of the cavern using the ground beneath me, giving me the chance to escape.
I'm impressed. Great work, Max.
I could have died!
But you didn't. Good job.
Auric then tossed another potion at me, returning my ability to fly. He also dropped me the artifact and some pizza as a reward. Wow, thanks! Just when I thought things were looking up, Lilith's army arrived at my location. On days 58 through 61, Lilith's army charged towards us with a mighty force. Auric and I had no choice but to fight back. We immediately shook the earth beneath their feet, launching blocks of sand in all directions, dealing massive amounts of damage and throwing some of the army into the pit. Auric used his earth magic to gain some distance and continued attacking. I began firing my ice beam and bulldozing through the minions one at a time, but it didn't seem like it was enough. They just kept coming! This is easy peasy! Just when we thought the onslaught was coming to an end, the last bit of the army switched their focus to Auric. They began to overwhelm him, continuously slashing and wounding him before he could retaliate. I immediately rushed into Auric's aid. Firing devastating beams of ice, I defeated the remaining soldiers, but I had arrived too late. I could tell Auric was fatally injured. Auric, no!
Looks like this is the end, Maxi Poo.
No, hang on a little longer.
It was an honor to be your master. Reclaim the throne and protect these lands.
With his final breath, Auric died. No! Lilith will pay for this! On days 62 through 64, I returned to the base with a heavy heart and revenge fueling my soul. To better put my mind at ease, I began building an Earth-inspired area in honor of my Earth Master. Inside of it, I built a memorial dedicated to Auric and his bravery. I'm gonna take back this kingdom for you, Auric. Once done, I suddenly felt a cold breeze rush through the base. What's happening? The blocks around me began to freeze, changing my entire base into ice. What the heck? I flew up and looked around to see if I could spot the disturbance. After close inspection, I noticed a tiny frozen scorpion having a little too much fun. Looks like we have our culprit. I then flew over to confront him. Hey you! Change this place back to normal!
No way! Not unless you play a game with me first.
I don't have time for games!
Do you want your people to get sick?
Well, no. I guess I don't have a choice. On days 65 through 67, I followed the scorpion to a new area where he had an obstacle course set up.
If you want your base to return to normal, you'll have to cross this bridge without slipping. No flying allowed.
What happens if I lose?
Then your base is my new ice skating rink.
Then I'll just have to win. Without hesitation, I began walking across the bridge, trying my best not to fall into the pit below. Unfortunately for me, the further I got, the more narrow the bridge became. Just take it slow, Max. You're almost there. I continued onward, very narrowly avoiding falling multiple times. I was getting close to the end.
No, you can't win!
The frozen scorpion was getting annoyed that I was about to beat his game, so he started to blow a blizzard in my direction. That's cheating!
Nuh-uh!
The wind was too much and I couldn't hold on. I slipped and fell into the pit below. I then landed deep inside of an ice cave where a giant frozen scorpion was waiting. Ah! Please don't eat me!
Eat you?
Why would I do that?
'Cause I lost the game?
Game? Wait a second. Timmy!
The little frozen scorpion then came down nervously to confront the larger one.
I'm sorry about my son. He's always stirring up trouble.
Oh, he's your son? Yeah, no problem.
Now, Timmy, hand over the ice crystals to the nice dragon man for all the trouble you put him through.
But, Mom!
Now, Timmy!
The little guy then reluctantly handed over the ice crystal he was using on me. Once I had it in my hands, I felt my powers growing even stronger. I even gained 5 hearts. Whoa! I guess this game was kind of like my ice training. Suddenly, I began hearing howling from outside of the pit. I flew out to find more blueless goons ready to fight. Let's see how you guys like this. I tried out my new power that the ice scorpion gave me, slowly freezing the pack of dark wolves. I managed to stop a few in their tracks while the others pushed forward to attack. They persistently tried to use their 3 heads to bite me, but I was able to fly far enough out of their reach to avoid them. Using my earth magic, I killed off a few more. Then switching back to my ice crystal, I defeated the last dark wolf. Once all the goons were taken care of using my new ice abilities, I figured I was now a master of ice. One more element to go! On days 71 through 74, I was heading back to the base when I spotted some signs. Race happening now. First place gets a map to Thunder Mountain. That sounds like the perfect spot to master my final element. I need that map. I flew through the entrance of the racetrack and discovered it was taking place on Rainbow Road. Whoa, this track really complements my scales. I took my place on the starting line with my opponent. He was just some plumber guy from Italy, so I felt confident I could win. You're going down. Let's go! The race began and the two of us sped across the rainbow tracks. We were neck and neck. It was anyone's game until suddenly the plumber guy threw a banana peel on the track. I hit it and it caused me to slow down. Ow! Watch where you throw that stuff! The peel caused a bit of a setback, but I stayed on his tail until we were nearing the finish line. I had to close the gap quick. Wind element, go! I used the power of wind to propel myself forward, giving me enough of an edge to win the race and the map grand prize.
Mamma mia!
Woohoo! I'm one step closer to mastering the final element! On days 75 through 79, I returned to the base and noticed that all of the ice was gone. I guess the frozen scorpions defrosted this place. As I looked at the base, one of my residents came up to me.
Thank you for thawing the ice, King. We wanted to give you this for our gratitude.
They tossed over loads of diamonds. These will be useful, thanks. I used my new materials to craft some diamond blocks for my treasure room. Finally, wealth that's fit for a king. Now I think I need to cool off. I decided I wanted to make an ice area to reflect my new mastery over the element, adding a whole new tower made of ice scales. Next, I expanded the main structure even further, gradually making the place feel more and more like an epic castle fit for a king. It's almost done. Just then, Francis floated up to me.
This place is really coming together. I hope things stay as they are now. I have a bad feeling that Lilith is going to attack soon.
Don't worry. Once I master Thunder, this will all be over. I won't let anything happen to this place or the kingdom.
Thanks, Max.
I parted ways with Francis and set off towards Thunder Mountain for my final test. On days 80 through 84, I arrived at Thunder Mountain in search of my final master. After some looking, I found a cave with a thunder dragon inside. Excuse me?
Leave this mountain at once. It's dangerous here.
No, please! I'm King Max. I've come to master the element of thunder.
You're the king? I'm Aster the Great. The only way to master the last element is to overcome the Thunder Guardian, the fiercest creature to ever roam these lands.
I'm up for the challenge. How do I summon them? Aster took me to the peak of the mountain and gave me an iron sword. Why am I doing this?
You'll see.
Soon, the clouds gathered in the sky above and rain began to fall heavily above us. This seems dangerous. Just then, a massive bolt of lightning struck me, but I managed to survive the hit. Ah!
You are worthy. Good luck.
Good luck? Aster left and I heard heavy footsteps approaching me. Over the peak, a massive thunder gorilla emerged. It was the Thunder Guardian, The Thunder Guardian lunged at me with all of its might, and I braced myself for battle. The oversized monkey was able to create an electrifying thunder attack that zapped me for massive damage. I tried to fight back with my other elements, but the storm seemed to empower the ape. He continued his onslaught, and I couldn't keep up. I was beginning to feel overwhelmed when I had a familiar feeling inside of my chest.
That lightning, what did it do to me?
The feeling grew stronger and stronger until I gained 5 hearts out of nowhere and incredible electric powers. The Elemental King is back! I used the power of the storm to my advantage and fought back with my own electric powers. The two of us zapped and zapped at each other, trying to prove who the superior thunder wielder was. As our electric attacks clashed together, I harnessed all of my power to overcome the strength of the monkey. After a long fight, I managed to take the Guardian down. I did it! The sky cleared and Aster came back out from hiding.
Congratulations, Max. You have mastered lightning as well as all of the other elements. Take this as your prize.
He handed me an orange crystal from my treasure room, and I knew what I had to do next. The time has finally come. I'm gonna take back the throne! On days 90 through 93, I was flying back home until I was stopped by a strange player.
Whoa! A super rare shiny Charizard! Gotta catch 'em all!
I'm an elemental dragon, not a Pokemon.
Yeah, right. Go, Pikachu!
The small yellow rat jumped out in front of me and immediately zapped the surrounding area. Well, I guess I have no choice. The electric rat started to zap me with his thunder attacks. He may have been small, but he was incredibly powerful. I started to use all kinds of elemental attacks to try and see what would work the quickest. I started by blasting him with my fire mastery, but even the burn damage wasn't enough to slow the Pikachu down. Next, I used wind and water, but they seemed even less effective than the fire. I wonder what Earth will do? I tried my Earth Mastery, and to my surprise, it seemed to do massive damage to the electric mouse.
No! Ground attacks are super effective!
I used my new edge to overwhelm the Pikachu. Once he was low enough in health, I switched to my electric moves to finish him off. With one final strike, I had defeated Pikachu.
Oh no! My Pikachu! I gotta find a Pokemon Center quick!
After achieving my victory, the weird player ran off. That was interesting. With the strange encounter being finished, I continued back to the base, when suddenly Francis rushed over to me.
Lilith is attacking the base! Hurry!
On days 94 through 98, I had finally arrived back to see the destruction of our base, and Lilith looming over the wreckage. Lilith! You'll pay for this!
I'm not afraid of you! Even though you have mastered all of the elements, I have one more trick up my sleeve.
Lilith used her magic to teleport each of my masters into cages. Let them go!
Say goodbye to your precious teachers!
With a single blow, she killed every single one of them and gained all of their powers. No! Within seconds, Lilith's body began to transform. She grew even larger and stronger.
Challenge me if you dare! I'll be waiting at the castle!
With her powerful new form, she turned around and flew away. That was the last straw. You're gonna pay for this! I couldn't stand looking at the sight of my wrecked base. Without a second thought, I began repairing to the best of my ability. With the last pieces set in place, I had finished rebuilding our home. It's not perfect, but it'll have to do. With the final preparations complete, I set off to finish this once and for all. On day 99, I arrived at the castle. It seemed like all the guards had been expecting my arrival. Out of my way! I began blasting my way through them, leaving no one to block my path. I charged into battle with my spells at the ready. Using my electricity, I zapped all the guards that stood beneath me. I attacked with each and every one of my elemental powers and slayed the army in waves. Destroying each enemy that approached me, their numbers had quickly dwindled down to 0. I was way stronger than before, and the proof was right in front of me. As I was about to reach the entrance, a giant monster appeared.
I will not let you pass.
Then I'll force my way through. The evil entity barreled towards me with the intent to kill, bringing absolute destruction to the area around me. Luckily, I was able to dodge their attacks, or it could have seriously hurt. I began spraying him with my water power and lifting the ground below. Using my ice abilities, I managed to slow him down. I immediately took advantage of the situation and released my strongest ability to bring the fight to an end. After a hard-fought battle, I had finally won against the final guard. Jeez, that guy was really strong. On day 100, I had arrived at the throne room where Lilith lay in wait.
Back so soon? Do you have a death wish?
I'm here to take back the throne and avenge everyone you've killed.
Oh, you've always had such a hero complex. Let's end this.
The two of us clashed in a battle of epic proportions. Lilith now had incredible powers she had absorbed from my late masters, so I was up against my greatest foe yet. She blasted away, paying no mind to her surroundings. The castle walls began to fall all around us as she shot lightning down onto me from the sky above. I did my best to dodge her and retaliate with my elemental magic. The Ender Dragon didn't know what hit her as I powered through with all of the different elements I had obtained on my journey. It was brother versus sister, and I wasn't about to give up now.
Come on, brother! Is that all you've got?
Managing to dodge her hefty attacks, Lilith blew a massive hole through the ceiling. Taking advantage of the new route she had opened up, I took to the skies and began firing down upon her. She followed me outside and we continued our battle. Her onslaught of lightning powers and fireballs seemed never-ending, but I pushed through and evaded the best I could. The two of us fired away with all the magic we could muster. The longer the fight went on, the more worn down my sister became. I didn't let up. I continued to fight and fight for everyone who had fallen by her claws. With all my elemental powers combined, I poured everything I learned into one final shot. For Mom, for my masters, for everyone! Her reign of terror was finally over. I defeated Lilith. I did it! I'm King of the Dragons once again!